I think that the hot sun makes white people go insane. That's what I think. That's what I think happens. Because you think about all the parts of this country where the white people are the craziest, it's where the sun is the hottest, you know? It's like out west, it's Arizona, east of the Mississippi, it's the entire American South, you know, and even within the South, the maxim holds true. The further south you go, the hotter the sun is, the crazier the crackers are, right? Like you start out in Kentucky, Virginia, it's not so bad. You get to Alabama, it's like, ugh, and then you wind up in Florida and they're throwing alligators through drive-through windows and shit. These motherfuckers are crazy. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot sun. I do think the hot part is important. I say that because I live in Southern California and like there's plenty of sun out there, but it's not hot for most of the year. For most of the year, it's like sunny and 72. And like the white people in LA, they're delusional, but they're not scary though, right? Like it's a different type of crazy. You know what I mean? But you leave LA, you start driving out east into the desert, they start to turn, man. They do. Like next thing you know, you're driving by Uncle Shooty's biker shop and Nazi stuff emporium. It's like, oh, this ain't good. Worrisome. I don't even think it has to be prolonged exposure to the hot sun. I think if the sun is hot enough, the effect can be acute in nature. Like, I think white people in the hot sun are like werewolves in the moonlight. Like, it just brings the monster out of us, you know? Like, you could take the most white bread, milquetoast data analyst from Kalamazoo, you send him to Las Vegas for a weekend conference. By Sunday, he's standing out in the middle of the strip with his dick out like, fuck you, Frank. I bet the house at the roulette table and I don't give a fuck. It fucks us up, man. That's why I'm so worried about this recent trend of like white dude bros sunning their taints and stuff. Like I said, that's a real thing. Fox News talked about Tucker Carlson, did a whole segment on it. It's a real thing. It's a real thing they're doing. They're like purposefully exposing their buttholes and their genitals and their taints and stuff to concentrated UV lights for like power-up purposes or something. And nothing good's gonna come out of that, man. Nothing. I'll tell you, you take a heavily bearded alpha male going through a divorce, he starts sunning his taint, next thing you know, Proud Boys. That's what happens. That's how the Proud Boys started. It's a problem. I don't think it's just an American problem, though. I think this is a global phenomenon. Like, for example, if you think about like England, right? Like in England, the sun is a myth, right? It's very gray, rainy. And you could say English white people, they've been evil and colonially over the years, but they're not crazy, though. No, they're not. They're very prim, proper, buttoned up. Yes, quite. That's how they are. But you take England, leave it in the hot sun for a couple hundred years, bam, Australia. That's what you get. Australia, a.k.a. the Florida of Oceania. Dude, I love Australians. They're a lot of fun, but they're down there fist fighting kangaroos and using the word like a punctuation mark. This shit ain't normal. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot. And there's one thing you can bring up to give me some issues with this. You could be like, well, Trey, what about like Russia, right? Russia, they got all them white people, no hot sun, crazy as a shithouse rat. How do you explain that, right? There's a couple ways of looking at that. You could look at that as like, yeah, my theory's dead in the water before we even get started. Or you could look at that as like, what if that's just their baseline, you know? It's like, what if that's just their starting point? Like, imagine what might happen if we expose Russia to the hot sun for a while. Like, that's the real danger of climate change right there. We don't all start recycling more. It's going to be Mad Max and Adidas tracksuits in no time. Like I said, I live in Southern California. It's fine for the most part. My accent is a problem for me out there. Like, I found out there, this accent can fuck up any words. Like, it don't matter how smart the words might be, this accent will fuck them up, you know? Like you could take a famous quote like John Lennon's, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. You say that to people in any other accent, they're like so profound, such wisdom. But you say it in my accent, life's what happens when you're busy making other plans. Oh no, he's not gonna tell us his plans, is he? I don't want to hear this guy's plans. They probably involve truck nuts and tiki torches. This is bad. Let's get out of here. Like, best case scenario is maybe I come across as folksy. You know, like, folksy's the best you can hope for when you talk like this. And my people got all these little sayings and phrases that help with that perception, especially if you're from the middle of nowhere like I am. But even that's not always great. You know, like I'll be at some party in LA, we run out of beer, and I'm like, well, guess somebody better ride into town, pick up some more. And they're just like, ride into town? What are we, out of sorghum? Has Molly took the fever? Why are you saddling up, cowboy? We'll just DoorDash it. And obviously the number one concern with this accent is with this accent, you're on permanent racism probation, right? Like it's a zero strike rule. People will default to racism every time, no matter what you actually meant. And when you couple that with all those little country ass sayings we have, it's a fucking minefield, dude. It is. I find myself thinking all the time, I'm like, that's not a racist phrase, right? That's just that's just like an old country phrase. There's nothing racist about that phrase, right? But you never know for sure with those old-timey phrases like that. So I'll psych myself out about it. I'll be in LA and somebody's like, hey, you talked to Jeremy lately? I'm like, dude, I ain't seen Jeremy in a squirrel's age. You know how squirrels live a really long time. Everybody's always talking about that and stuff. That's all I meant. I try to make myself feel better by telling myself it's not a Southern accent thing, it's an American accent thing. Like the idea that any thick regional American accent can sound kind of dumb, not just this one, you know? Like if you go to the doctor to get some test results back, yeah, you don't want this accent from the doctor. I know, you don't, right? You don't. But you also don't want some meatball from the Bronx, you know, like, listen, this is what it is, you got stage 4 cancer, what are you gonna do? No, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to take your fucking chemo. You're going to take your radiation. You're going to kick cancer's ass. Actually, I didn't want a Bronx doctor. I take that back. That sounds pretty inspiring, actually. But like if you're on a plane in the Midwest and the pilot comes on like, okay, got a little snow system up here. Just going to scooch right by there, don't you know? No whoops-a-daisies today. No, sir. Going to be a hoot. A hoot? What am I, in a fucking Coen Brothers movie right now? Like, people ain't supposed to talk like that. I think even a thick California accent can sound dumb. And if you don't know what I mean by thick California accent, I'll explain myself with one sound. Not a word, a sound. That shit sounds pretty dumb. But no, I live in fear in LA of coming across as racist accidentally just because of my accent, you know, but I'm also out there being a comedian, which means I go on auditions and stuff, and it turns out when you're a white dude with this accent, you will audition exclusively to play racist. That's how that works. That's how that... Dude, you can make a compilation reel of my audition tapes that would make Paula Deen blush, dude. Like, it's brutal. Brutal. Every time. Open up this new audition, it's like, oh, this is a fun premise with a talented director and a stacked cast. Let's see. I'm reading for the role of Billy Ray. This should be fun. You see what this is like? Then I open it up, and every time it's like, Billy Ray sits alone at the dining room table, skinning a rattlesnake. Suddenly, a knock at the door. Billy Ray gently places the knife on the nearby nightstand next to the neatly folded Klan robe. God damn it. Every fucking time. It's never the hillbilly with a heart of gold, dude. Ever. It's always... And then I don't get that role, and I don't know how to feel about that, you know, because I'm conflicted, because part of me is like, Trey, that's good. That says something good about you, that they can't see you as genuinely being that type of vehement racist, you know? But the other part of me wants to get these jobs is like, you don't think I could be in the Klan? I could be in the Klan right now, goddammit. My granddad was in the Klan, motherfucker. You don't know. I'm just kidding. He was. I mean, as far as I know, he wasn't in the Klan. I don't know. He did keep a lot of secrets, but But yeah, and then months later, that TV show or movie will come out, and that role is played by like a British or Australian guy, and that fucks me up even more because like one of the biggest things in Hollywood right now is representation. The whole like if you got a gay character in a movie, it should be played by a gay actor. That whole thing, and they take that shit very seriously too. For the most part, they do. They're taking it so seriously. At this point, it feels like if you got a script with a paraplegic protagonist in it, you better hope somebody at Juilliard gets hit by a fucking bus. Because otherwise, they're going to be upset with you. People are going to write some articles about you. That's how seriously they're taking representation, yet all the redneck characters are played by classically trained Shakespearean Brits, you know, like Netflix has got a project set in deep Appalachia. The director calls cut, and half the cast is just like, tea time, is it? You know, I must admit it is taxing portraying these hill people for hours on end, but as an artist, I ask myself, what would the hill person do? How would the hill person feel after the loss of their beloved pet opossum? What would they... Would they mourn the loss, or would they simply eat the beast? What would they do? Right? But if you look it up, you can find articles that explain why they do that. You find these articles that tell you, well, you know, linguistically speaking, the British accent is actually very close, phonetically, to the American Southern accent. That's why those actors are so adept at portraying those roles. I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. You know who else is adept at that? Actors from the South. Probably also pull it off, I bet. That's what they say is happening, but here's what I think is really going on. I think those studio executives are having meetings going over upcoming projects, and their assistant is like, this one's got a gay protagonist. I got the perfect gay actor. This one's got some biracial characters in it. I got a whole list of tremendously talented biracial actors. This next one's got some redneck characters in it. Yeah, I don't know if our insurance is going to cover that. That might present some liability concerns. We might need to go to Plan B. Let's see, redneck characters. Is Benedict Cumberbatch available? Because you know, linguistically speaking, I like that bit because it's sort of like at the end of the day, I'm just up here like any other redneck comedian. Like, these goddamn immigrants are taking our jobs. But it's not surprising, you know, if you spend time on the coast, they have a very low opinion of the red states, of the southern states out there. You know, they think the whole South is just crazy racist. And I mean, yeah, sure. Sure, but we're not the only ones. Like, racism's an American problem. That's what bothers me about it. You know, like, I'll talk to people in L.A. sometimes. They know I'm from the South. They want to know. They're like, you're from there. Be honest. That type of institutional racism. Tell us about that. I'm like, why are you asking me about it when the LAPD is right there? Like LA's got a totally clean slate racially. I'm sorry, I forgot. The NWA stood for nice, we're appreciated. You remember Ice Cube and all their album covers? Just things are great out here. No, LA's got their own shit to worry about racially speaking, and it's not all ancient history either. It still crops up sometimes. Like last year, there was this LA city councilwoman. She got caught on tape just putting on a racism clinic for the whole world to see. And dude, it was wild. She was racist against like 8, 9 different types of people. Like there was Alabama papaws taking notes during this shit. They're like, is that a new slur? Write that down. She made me realize something I never thought of before, which is like, yes, the South has more racists and more racism, generally speaking, but I'm now convinced that if racism was a sport in a one-on-one, an LA racist could absolutely hang with an Alabama racist because of the versatility of their game. You know what I mean? They got more tools in their bag. You know, like an Alabama racist, they're real solid in the fundamentals. You know, like black people, Mexicans, the gays. When it comes to that, they'll sit in the pocket, they'll find a rhythm, they can go all day long, right? They're lethal. Most of them never even met a Jewish person, but they've heard enough to be dangerous, right? They got a puncher's chance if that comes up. But beyond that, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? This lady was racist against Armenians. Papaws ain't got the skill set for that. Papaws can't spell Armenian, man. I'm just saying, if it was a heavyweight championship racism bout, the Papa will be in the corner sitting on a stool, shaking his head, just like she's throwing shit at me I never seen before, man. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
안녕하세요. 또 미입니다. 사람들은 종종 낡은 것이 가버리면 새로운 것이 더 좋아진다고 말합니다. 그것이 바로 이야기입니다. 오늘 좋아요. 글쎄요. 얼마 전 애인이 동창회에 여자친구를 데리고 와서 나를 이용하려고 했을 때 누가 흉내내라고 해서 그렇게 했어요. 그런 다음 유튜브에 가서 스토리 이름을 검색하면 찾을 수 있습니다. 이제 이야기를 들어보자. 스토리가 재미있으셨다면 좋아요, 댓글을 남겨주세요. 저는 35세에 갑자기 남편과 이혼했습니다. 실제로 완전히 그런 것은 아니지만 경고 신호가 없습니다. 저는 경찰관이고 로앙투는 검사입니다. 모든 사람의 눈에 우리는 천국에서 만들어진 성냥입니다. 어느 날 밤 휴연 램투는 불을 끄고 잠자리에 들고 천천히 말했습니다. 그는 현재의 삶이 고인 물 웅덩이와 같다고 느낀다. 그 후 그는 직업을 바꾸어 부자들을 위한 사건 전문 변호사가 되었습니다. 우리는 집과 차를 바꿨습니다. 아들이 초등학교에 들어가던 날 일주일에 한 번씩 이혼을 제안했는데 마치 의무를 다하는 것 같았다. 어쩌면 다른 사람으로 바꿔서 어떻게 되는지 살펴봐야 할 것 같습니다. 그래서 정말 사람을 바꿨고 월급도 또 걷잡을 수 없이 폭락했어요. 제어. 내 어깨를 잡고 세게 흔들었다. 나는 경찰관이고 범죄자이다. 잠시만 깨어 있어 주세요. 알았죠? 나는 즉시 반사적으로 그의 팔을 등 뒤로 구부렸다. 나는 항상 따뜻한 물을 마시는 것에 지쳤습니다. 진한 와인을 한번 먹어보고 싶어요. 돈도 있고 외모도 있고 젊습니다. 그 사람이 나한테서 무엇을 요구할 수 있을 것 같나요? 이제 시작해 보겠습니다. 한 달도 더 지나서 나는 예전 집으로 돌아왔습니다. 문을 연 사람은 어린 소녀였다. 이혼했을 때 집도 못 구했어요. 결혼하고 임신하고 출산하고 아이를 키우는 것, 그 집은 너무 많은 소지품과 추억으로 가득 차 있었습니다. 집은 서둘러 포장되었습니다. 짧은 시간 안에 몇 가지를 놓치는 것은 불가피합니다. 언니, 딱 필.